Thank you, Colonel. Thank you to Mayor Elorza, Colonel Winquist, Colonel Clements, Commissioner Parry, and all the members of the media for joining us today. Over the past few years, we have seen an overwhelming increase in the illegal use of ATVs, dirt bikes, and other types of recreational type vehicles on our city streets. Our citizens and our police have observed reckless abuse of these vehicles in and around our neighborhoods. Cranston police have seen an overwhelming number of complaints from the Cranston residents regarding this illegal activity. The operators of these vehicles have been a threat both to the well-being and the general public of the men and women of the Cranston Police Department. In a recent incident, Cranston police were assaulted while responding to an incident involving over 30 illegal ATVs. In response to this, I issued an executive order on March 3rd requesting that any service station licensed to the city of Cranston refuse the service of fuel to these illegal vehicles. In addition, I have ordered strict enforcement of related city motor vehicle ordinances. This behavior will not, and I repeat, will not be tolerated by the city of Cranston. We are proud to partner with Mayor Elorza and the city of Providence on the effort to crack down on the use of these illegal vehicles. Following a productive and encouraging meeting between both cities, our tremendous police departments are collaborating on innovative law enforcement strategies and tactics. To that end, Colonels Winquist and Clements have developed a mutual law enforcement initiative. Now, the one thing I can't add to this is I have changed my position on what we're going to do once we confiscate these vehicles. I have my staff working with the colonel from the police department in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. We have made an agreement with that police department to have all of these confiscated vehicles shipped to the Dominican Republic for their use in their police department. So again, I will not be destroying these vehicles once complicated. We will be shipping them to the Dominican Republic for the use by their police department in Santo Domingo. At this point, I'd like to introduce my good friend, the Mayor of Providence, Jorge Elorza. Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Chiefs. I appreciate your ongoing efforts here, and I particularly want to recognize Mayor Hopkins' partnership as we work jointly on something that's been a concern in both of our communities. Just as we're seeing with the pandemic, this is another example of how interconnected we all are. The reality is that no one is safe unless all of us are safe. And this challenge with the ATVs and the reckless and the illegal and the dangerous use of them is one that easily shifts from one city to the next, goes in and out of city borders. And so it makes a lot of sense for us to coordinate to the extent possible to make sure that we're working together to make sure we keep our streets safe. So we're all interconnected, and we're going to work together to keep all of our residents safe. As you just heard from the mayor and from the police chiefs, we're starting with these two neighboring cities, but we've also received a lot of interest and there have been a lot of conversations with other cities. So as we work through this relationship and this partnership, we also want to work with other cities and towns because we all have a joint interest. We all have the exact same interest, and that's making sure that our roads are safe for everyone involved. And so we're going to be working together to address this from every different angle. What you have heard today is this task force that's being developed by our police departments to work together on enforcement. But that's just one of the angles, a very tremendously important angle. But there are many other aspects to this as well. It's not just the riders that are out there, but it's also everyone that enables those riders to be out there. So looking at gas stations, looking at sellers, looking at the organizers, and looking at the owners of these vehicles. There's a lot of different approaches that we can take, and it's one of these matters where there is no one simple solution. It's one of these issues where you have to attack it, using every tool in the toolbox, and that's our commitment. Of course, as we see the weather start to turn and us heading into spring, we do anticipate that there are going to be a lot of folks that are going to be much more sort of willing to be out there, given that it's warmer rather than the dead of winter. Well, we want to get ahead of this and let folks know that please do not come out onto our streets. We cannot and we will not tolerate this behavior that continues to create dangerous situations for our residents and our motorists throughout the city. So please do not come to Providence, do not come to Cranston, do not come onto our streets unless you're using your vehicles legally and safely.